Hey everyone, welcome to Self-Love Letters for Healing. I'm Glenda Lezeau and I am the creator and host of this mini series, and I'm just so excited for you to get started with us. So this is just an introduction video. The first technical video will be starting the next video, but I wanted to come on to introduce myself, to let you know more about the series, and to help you prepare and get ready. First off, I have to give a special shout out to Haiti Cultural Exchange, also known as HCX. They are the reason why I even have this opportunity to be here with you and to be able to share this series with you. So make sure you go ahead and check them out. I was accepted into the Rasin Lakay program, so they have other artists in the program and they have other programs, amazing programs that they do. So definitely check them out. Quick disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a mental health professional. And some of the topics that we're going to be talking about is physical wellness, mental wellness, and emotional wellness. So I don't want you to use this series to substitute treatment, just to complement treatment. So still go see a professional if you're experiencing issues. Even with the pandemic going on right now, there are a lot of virtual options to still connect with a professional or a doctor. And so don't use this series as a substitute, but definitely use this series as part of your journey to healing, because healing is a journey. So when I talk about healing in the title and even throughout this series, I'm not referring to curing your condition or your situation. I'm not referring for you to be able to be completely healed. It's really just about incorporating self-love aspects, compassion to yourself, and developing a deeper relationship with yourself and with your condition to help you get through it. And for some, it might work as more of a healing mechanism, and for some, it might just be activating the healing journey. So a little bit about how I came up with this series. I was inspired by my book that I published this year. This is it. Letters to My Bipolar Self. It's a nonfiction book, and as you can see by the title, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and so I wrote a series of 50 letters to myself to show acts of self-love and compassion to myself despite symptoms. And interesting enough, after writing these letters to myself, I noticed a sense of healing, which I wasn't expecting. I wasn't doing it per se for healing purposes. And I realized just the progression that I went through from the first letter I wrote to myself to the last letter that I wrote to myself. And I wanted to share with all of you how I wrote these letters so that you can also receive healing as well. So let me give you an example. I'm going to read a letter from my book, and just so you know, throughout this series, there's going to be 3 videos, and it's going to touch on each of the topics I mentioned earlier. In each video, I'm going to read an example of a letter in my book to help guide you so that you have an idea as to how to write this letter or these letters to yourself. So I'm going to be using my book as a guide. So I wanted to give you an example. If you have my book, you can turn to letter number 3, which is page 9. So this is how the inside of my book looks. The first page is the letter number, the title of the letter, and the date. So this was from 2017. And then in the next page, I have a quote from the letter that you're about to read, or you're about to hear me see. Okay, so here's a letter. And just a heads up, I wrote these letters with a loving tone, so it sounds as if I'm writing a letter to someone else or a loved one, which is actually the point of these letters. So I just want to give you a heads up as I read it. You'll notice what I mean. Hey love, remember this moment. Remember the moment when your depressive mood from last night lingered on into today, was switched off in a matter of seconds. It wasn't even intentional. The universe just made some alignments, knowing what would make you smile and laugh. One smile, one giggle, and just like that, you were better. Remember this moment so that you can remind yourself of the moment you overcame a depressive state, so that you can uplift yourself the next time you feel like giving up. The next time it feels like the depressive state will last forever, keep rising and keep shining. XOXO, your secret admirer. let me give you a backstory for this letter. I was working a temp job. It was my second day on the job. It was a reception job. And I literally was depressed the whole time. And it felt like the depression was just never going to go away. And I remember telling myself, you know what? This time around, this depression is never going away. It's just going to be my permanent state. I'm just going to be numb all the time. I'm never going to feel joy again. I'm never going to laugh. My family and friends are going to notice. And so I was telling myself that, and I really did believe that in the moment. So I go into work. This is the second day. It was towards the end of the day. And again, I'm the receptionist. And this guy in a furry suit, a pink furry suit, walks in. Hi, I'm looking for so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, okay, let me go get that person. The person he was asking for is actually one of the managers. And so when I tell the manager who's here for him, he's like, oh yes, perfect. And he's getting the team. He's like, team, come. And then I get so-and-so. So apparently the person that he's saying to get is someone that's leaving the job, and they wanted to give him some type of farewell present, and the pink furry suit was the farewell present. So everyone's gathered. I'm sitting here watching, and the guy in the pink furry suit was like, all right, where are you, so-and-so? You're leaving? We have something for you. And he turns on music and then starts dancing to popular songs, but using his own lyrics and using words like farewell, we're gonna miss you, and using the person's name. And everyone's just laughing and smiling. And I'm laughing and smiling and Snapchatting like, oh my gosh, what is going on at work today? So all that's happening. After it was over, I realized that I was smiling and that I laughed. And I had an aha moment, because I remember what I told myself, that this depressive state is never going to go away, and I'm never going to feel joy at any moment. And once I recognized that, that's when I wrote myself this letter that I wrote, remember this moment. And so fast forward months, I'm not sure how long, months later, I had another depressive state. And I'm sitting in my room thinking the same thing. It's never going to go away. This time around, it's never going away. This is going to be my permanent. And I had a flashback. I was like, wait, this sounds really familiar. Didn't I tell myself this before? Didn't I write about it before? Didn't I write a letter? And so I go back looking for the letter, because remember, this is months later, looking, came across the letter I just read to you, and literally had this light bulb moment. Now, of course, the depressive state didn't just magically disappear, but I was able to connect the dots, like, oh, I can't take this literal. This is just in the moment. Oh, okay. And I was able to push myself through the depressive moment without focusing too much on it's going to last forever. And I was able to do that with each depressive state that kept happening, and eventually it became natural for my brain to automatically be like, oh, you're depressed? Don't listen to depression. You had a moment where you did overcome this before. You've overcome this before. And so writing the letter helped me. It helped me notice pattern and trends in my symptoms. And it was just a great way to document when certain things happen, because sometimes in the moment you forget that you overcame something, or you forget that you did have a good moment despite symptoms, etc., etc. So that's just an example. I don't want you to go into these series thinking that you have these high expectations. Let the process be the process. Embrace the process, trust the process. Trust me, I know it might seem weird for some of you to write a letter to yourself, but you just have to trust that it's working in your favor. Some may be obvious, like how mine was obvious, but sometimes it might just be your brain is being rewired. So don't get too caught up on results, just get caught up on doing the action and writing yourself these letters, and at the same time cultivating the self-love, because that's so important. That important with yourself is extremely important. Also, another thing I want to mention about the series is, even if you are feeling well and you're not experiencing any symptoms, or you don't per se have any conditions, you can still benefit from this. I'm going to go ahead and target the templates and guides that I'm giving you during the videos towards different individuals, depending on what you may be going through. So even if you're well, you still can benefit from this, because I'm going to touch on the importance of gratitude. So if you're feeling well, you have to make sure you're incorporating gratitude into your life. You want to make sure that you understand how much of a privilege it is to be feeling well, so you can still benefit from writing a letter to yourself. Don't feel like this is only for individuals with conditions or with symptoms. Last but not least, I just wanted to say again, this is the introduction. video number 1 is going to drop, and after each video, I'm going to instruct you to write a letter to yourself. You have about a week or so to write a letter until the next video will be released. And these letters are private between you and yourself, so you don't have to worry about sending a letter to me or even sharing it to anyone, unless if you want to. That's perfectly fine, but this letter is private. You don't have to share this at all. It's between you and yourself. Another thing I want to touch on is, again, keep an open mindset. I'm really, really excited for you to be going on this journey with me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on video number 1. Make sure you watch the videos in sequence, of course, starting with this one. So if you're already here, then you're doing the right thing. Watch it in sequence. I have it in a certain sequence for a certain reason. So that's all I have for you folks. Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm super, super, super excited for you to be on this journey with me, and I'm excited to hear your feedback as well. So throughout the videos, I'll tell you, send me an email. How was the experience? How was it writing? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it better than you expected? So definitely feel free to email me. My email is risinfrombipolar@gmail.com. So it's RISING from bipolar@gmail.com. You can also check out my blog/website, which is risinfrombipolar.com, and also feel free to check out my Instagram page at risinfrombipolar. But I'm not really active on Instagram, but I have the Instagram page up as a resource. So if you want more inspiration, you can definitely check out the Instagram page and look at the past posts that I post about inspirational, mental wellness, all different dope stuff. And lastly, if you are interested in getting my book, you can find it on barnesandnobles.com. Letters to My Bipolar Self, you'll find it there. Thank you again for being here with me on this introduction. And again, I'm so excited for this journey. Once again, I'm Glenda Lezeau. I'm an author and mental wellness advocate. Bye. See you in video number 1.